If you own a rental property or you're thinking of buying one, at some point you've probably Googled this. Do I need an LLC? What happens to my mortgage if I have one? If I don't form an LLC, am I personally on the hook if a tenant sues me? If you're new here, hi, I'm Lydia. I work in healthcare and I have a couple of rentals on the side. I've had to make this exact decision before, and today I want to walk you through the framework of how I thought through it and share the step-by-step of how I formed my LLC online with Northwest Registered Agent, who is kindly sponsoring today's video. I've used them and been recommending them for the past few years. Their service is straightforward and includes everything you need, and they even have these corporate guides that are dedicated to answering your questions. Real humans who pick up the phone and answer emails about the toughest business questions you have. Quick note before we get into it, nothing in this video is legal advice. I am not a lawyer, so treat this as a starting point on what and how to think through this decision. Part 1, let's start with the basics. What is an LLC and what does it actually do? An LLC, or a limited liability company, creates a legal separation between you personally and the business. If something goes wrong, and we all hope nothing does, like a passerby slips on an icy sidewalk that you didn't salt in time, a guest at the short-term rental with an accident and decides to sue, a long-term tenant that stops paying and won't leave, and the whole eviction process becomes a legal battle, a mold issue that no one caught until it became a habitability claim. All unlikely, but the chance is non-zero. And if your property and the whole operation is under your name, then your personal assets like your primary home, your retirement savings, etc., are potentially on the table. However, if the property is owned by the LLC, the lease is signed with the LLC, all the operations go under the LLC, then in most of those situations, the exposure is limited to whatever the LLC owns. It works the other direction too. If you personally ever got sued for something completely unrelated to your rental property, then that lawsuit can't necessarily touch what is inside the LLC. In other words, there are two separate legal worlds. It's not an absolute shield, nothing ever really is, and good landlord insurance is still a must. That's like a good first line of defense. But the LLC is another layer behind that, and together they meaningfully work better than just one, which sounds pretty great. So should you get one, and are there reasons not to? That brings us to part 2, the pros and cons, and here is how I think through it. As far as reasons to do it, the first obvious one is liability protection. That's the whole point of what we just covered. The LLC is the buffer between your business/rental and everything else you own. The second good reason doesn't get talked about enough, and that is privacy. Instead of your personal name on the business records, your personal cell phone on your Airbnb listing, your home address listed on every single lease, XYZ Properties LLC is what your tenants will see. That's the thing that's out there, the business phone number, business mailing address, email, while your personal information gets to just stay personal. The third benefit is that it gives you the structure to run it like a business. The LLC has its own EIN, its own bank account, its own books. You should be doing this either way without the LLC, but it almost formalizes that structure and makes it more likely and easier for you to follow through with it. This separation matters for the liability protection to actually hold, and it also just makes your whole financial picture clearer. Taxes, records, and just a clear picture on what your property is doing financially. The fourth benefit is situation specific, but really important. If you're doing this with a partner, the LLC is not optional. The operating agreement is the document that defines who put in what, how profits are going to be split, who makes decisions, what happens if someone wants out, or if something goes wrong. Without it, you're in default state partnership rules, which is almost what nobody wants. I have a beach house Airbnb that's a partnership, and the LLC operating agreement is what makes that all clear to everyone involved, protects everyone. So if you're going in with someone else, form the LLC before money goes anywhere is how I like to think of it. Those are some real and tangible benefits to having an LLC. Now let's talk briefly about reasons you may not want to do it or not yet. The biggest practical constraint is the financing. If you're buying a single family home to be a rental through an LLC, you will not have access to the basic 30-year mortgages through Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. You would have to look into an investment loan or a DSCR loan, which generally don't have as good of interest rates and maybe worse terms. In other words, it makes financing either harder or more expensive. Some people get around that issue by buying the property in their own name first with a normal conventional mortgage, and then later moving the title of that into the LLC. That said, conventional mortgages have a due on sale clause, which basically means if you were to move the title and ownership from one person or one entity to another, technically the lender can call the entire loan amount due. In practice, this is not commonly enforced, but the clause is there, it's real, and so it is your call to make whether or not you're comfortable moving it like this. There are also trust structures to kind of do the same thing without triggering the due on sale clause. Those cost money, and either route, trust or no trust, there is a fee to the title transfer, and oftentimes it is proportionate to the amount of loan that is still left. So if you have an expensive property with a sizable loan, this is not nothing. Another workaround is using the LLC just as the operating entity. The title is still in your name, but the LLC signs the leases, collects the rent, runs the business. Think of it kind of like how a property management company works. They operate everything, but technically they don't own any of those assets. The privacy benefit holds up pretty well here, especially for an Airbnb with a high guest turnover and a lot of customer-facing stuff to interact with. Liability protection might be thinner, though. With the property itself outside of the LLC, a plaintiff's attorney could try to reach past it and get to you personally anyway. Either way, these workarounds are worth a quick conversation with someone who actually understands your situation. Sometimes the best thing to do is just to set it up in the most correct way from the get-go. Beyond financing, there are also ongoing cost and maintenance to be aware of. State filings, annual reports for the LLC, potentially a separate tax return, maintaining separate books and bank accounts. Some of this you should really be doing anyway, but in the specific situation of an LLC, when these basic tasks of treating it like a separate entity are not done, in a legal dispute, a court can look at your entity and say, this wasn't a real separate entity anyway, it's just a filing, and hold you personally liable anyway. If you hire Northwest Registered Agent to form your LLC, you'll get annual report reminders and lifetime support from their corporate guides in case a question about how to maintain your LLC comes up. On the tax side, single-member LLC are usually just disregarded entities. Income and expenses on Schedule E just kind of flow through to your personal tax returns. Multi-member LLCs like partnerships would usually file a partnership return and distribute K-1s to their members, which then also flows through to their personal tax returns. Talk to a CPA about your exact structure and what that means, but in general, the LLC or not question doesn't quite change your taxes for these rental properties. All in all, very clear benefits on the liability and privacy with some tangible costs that you have to weigh. Let's move on to part 3. If you decide that LLC is right for your situation, this is what that process looks like. I've partnered with Northwest Registered Agent on this video because that's who I used when I started with my beach house a few years ago, and I've been using them the whole time and genuinely happy with that service. I'll walk through a few questions you may want to think about because as easy as that online setup process is, some of it requires a little bit of thought on your part. If you're like me, you would appreciate knowing the questions ahead of time. The first thing to think about is which state to form it in. For most people, it's a pretty straightforward answer, wherever the property is. You may have heard about forming an LLC in Wyoming or Delaware for lower fees or stronger privacy laws and just more favorable terms. But as an example, if your property is in Florida and you form an LLC in Wyoming, you still have to register as a foreign LLC in Florida to actually do business there. So now you're paying extra fees for the second entity, separate registered agent fees and filing fees, and also performing the maintenance work to show that these are two separate entities. All of that work for just the one rental. The people most enthusiastically encouraging these separate Wyoming and Delaware entities are generally usually the people selling them as well. My personal take is to keep it simple and just form where the property is. Another thing you have to think about is naming your LLC. This is genuinely a fun part. You can name it whatever you like. It's almost a form of entertainment to type in and see what names have been taken. If you have something in mind that is super meaningful or witty, go for it. But there is also no shame in going completely practical and using just the property address. 123 Main Street LLC is a perfectly fine name. You know exactly what it refers to when you're digging out a random bank statement 2 years later. I've also seen people with multiple investments along the same block just naming it like 4th Street Investments LLC. At the end of the day, no one's really going to be impressed by your LLC name. Your tenants don't care, your CPA doesn't care. Just pick something that you're happy with and move on. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the articles of organization, which was genuinely confusing to me when I started. The articles of organization is basically like a birth certificate for your LLC. Like, what's the name? What's the business address? What day did it come into existence? Just some basic information. This one confused me a little bit when I was a beginner, so I thought I would just walk through the terms within this article. For business address, this is the address that will be listed publicly as the official mailing address for whatever correspondence you get for your business. Like if you write a lease, or if you open a bank account, or if you're submitting for a license, a rental license with the state, this is the business address that you will put. Legally, this is the official address for your business. You don't want to use the address of the rental property because then your tenants or your Airbnb guests will be getting your official business mail. You also don't want to use your home address because it's public information. Ideally, you need an address that is neither of these two. I just use the one provided by Northwest Registered Agent. It helps keep my personal home address private, and is already included in that $39 formation fee for the LLC anyway. Any mail that I get for the LLC, I think the most recent ones were the 1099s from Airbnb and VRBO. Those get sent to this business address of Northwest Registered Agent. They scan them in, and I can log in anytime to see the PDF version of these mails. There's also an option to request the physical copy to be forwarded to you for a fee. The actual process of completing the articles of organization here, it's pretty close to fill in the blank. Northwest walks you through step by step, and if you happen to have questions, their corporate guides offer live support. One decision related to this I want to flag is whether you want the LLC to be member managed versus manager managed. For a solo investor or a small, very hands-on partnership, member managed makes sense. It basically means one of the members of the LLC is also managing, as opposed to having an outsider be the manager. Another blank on the articles is registered agent, which is the official contact for legal and state documents. It can be yourself, or it can be a hired third-party person. The requirement is basically this person needs to have a physical address that will be publicly announced and be available to receive notices during business hours. I chose to do the third-party route because of both practical and privacy reasons. With Northwest specifically, the registered agent is included for that first year with your $39 formation fee, and you can choose whether you want to continue using them upon renewal. I've kept them the whole time because I get to use their address and their contact instead of my own. Next, let's talk about the operating agreement, which was also confusing to me as a beginner. The operating agreement is essentially like a rule book for your LLC. Who are the members? What are the ownership percentages? How profits and losses are distributed? How decisions get made? What happens if someone wants out? Any other rules you want to include. All the members of the LLC sign it, which I understand for a solo LLC, it feels kind of just ceremonial. But for a partnership, this is essential. We started our agreement based on one of the templates offered on Northwest, and it was a really good starting point to figure out what questions to ask each other and what are the things we want to think through and specify in the agreement. One thing I want to point out just from a practical convenience standpoint, anyone with 25% or more ownership in a partnership is usually required to sign on to, if you open a bank account, if you open a credit card, all the members with 25% and above need to sign off on it, which may be kind of a hassle if you have a partnership of like 3 or 4 people and you try to split it evenly exactly. Every time you open a new bank account, you're going to have to ask everyone else. Just a mistake I learned the hard way and something you want to think about before you decide on the exact percentages. Unlike the articles of organization, the operating agreement, you don't file this anywhere. It's still a legally binding contract and you want to make sure you keep it in a safe place where you can find. Once the LLC is formed, it's time to get an EIN or an employer identification number. It's a number from the IRS and it's basically the federal tax ID of the LLC. It's free to do on irs.gov, or you can also have Northwest take care of it for you and have everything in one place for a fee. Now with the EIN in hand, it's time to get a business bank account to keep everything business/rental related in one place. It keeps your books clean, it helps you in case of an IRS audit, and also helps maintain that this is, yes, a separate legal structure from a legal and liability standpoint. While you're at it, get a business credit card too. You can put all of your business and rental expenses on it. Some of these sign-up bonuses are genuinely really good, oftentimes better than what's available on the personal side, and your repair bills, supplies, even property taxes, contractor payments, those do add up to some serious points, so you might as well get something back. Just make sure you're only using these for business purchases and you pay them from the business bank account. And also, it goes without saying, use credit responsibly, pay it back in full on time every single month. The last step in the initial setup phase is the business identity. In this day and age, it's important that your business look legitimate on day one. A professional email address, business phone number, a website. All of this is already included if you sign up for Northwest $39 plus state fees LLC formation. My favorite part is that the business identity belongs to you, not Northwest. Your web domain is transferable. Your website itself is built on open source software and you can take it elsewhere if you would like. They even offer migration support to help you do that. Your business phone number and professional email addresses can also go with you if you choose to use the service elsewhere. Also, as your business grows, maybe you are renting out bigger properties and more units, or you start co-hosting and serving as like a property management thing for other Airbnb property owners. Northwest offers paths for advanced web hosting, expanded email services and phone plans, and additional mail support. I personally still use my phone line that I got from Northwest when I signed up for the beach house. It's on its own app and it's really easy to use, and I love that I get to respond to my Airbnb text separately. It's on the same phone. I don't have a separate device, but it shows up as a different phone number to my Airbnb guests. That's it for the initial setup phase. As for ongoing maintenance, like we talked about, there's the annual maintenance of the annual reports being filed. If you miss those, your state can dissolve your LLC and then you would lose that liability and privacy protection that you had worked to set up. If you prefer to DIY this, I would just recommend that you make sure to mark the deadlines on your calendar and you can work with your state and file and pay them directly. Personally, I've just been relying on Northwest to do this. They track all the compliance deadlines, they prepare all the filings, they submit all the annual reports on my behalf. I do want to be transparent that there is a cost associated with this, so it depends on how you value not having to think about admin or how likely you'll forget it. For me, this has been worth it. I hope this helped walk through what to actually think about in your situation and help get some clarity on whether or not you want to form an LLC for your rental. I'll link Northwest registered agent below. I've been using them for a few years now and just genuinely happy that they reached out. It was really easy to set up and the maintenance is almost hands-free. With all the bonuses of the registered agent, the business phone, website, email, all bundled into that $39 formation fee, it's kind of a no-brainer if you choose to go with an LLC. With my link, you get free priority processing, which means you get filed on that same day. I'll also link all my real estate content below if you want to keep watching. And if you're new here, welcome. I will see you guys again in the next one. Bye!